Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to make this awesome little beaded weave here that I designed using, I'll zoom in and show you, 11 seed beads, rounduos, and superduos. These here are actually anklets, but if you wanted, you could do the same weave for a bracelet, a beaded ring. If you had a beaded pendant and you didn't want to use a chain or a ribbon for the pendant, you can use this here for a beaded strap for the pendant. So yeah, this can be used so many different ways. I really love it. Some other ideas I had was to sew this onto the collar of a scoop neck top or a V-neck top. That would be really cute, and something that I've been wanting to do for a while but haven't found the right sandals is to sew a beaded strap like this on top of the sandals. It would be so cute, and that's just, you know, another idea that I've had, and maybe one of you could possibly find the right pair of sandals to do that too. So yeah, those are just some of the ideas I've had for this, and I really love it. The rounduos here have 2 holes. If you haven't seen them before, they are sold by the Potomac Bead Company, and these here are super duos. You can find them just about anywhere, it seems like now, but only online for me. I can't find them at local stores. This weave is really simple to do, and you can really play around with the colors and get so many different looks. In the video, I'm going to make an anklet that has rounduos and superduos in it, just so you guys can see how to do it with superduos and the rounduos. So yeah, I really love this weave, and I hope you guys enjoy this, so keep watching. Here is the list of materials you will need to make an anklet or a bracelet. You will need 6-pound or 8-pound fireline, and for a bracelet you'll need 5 feet of thread, and for an anklet you'll need to cut 6 foot of thread. You're also going to need 2 beading needles. These are size 10 beading needles. A clasp of your choice. I'm using a snap clasp. And you're also going to need 2 split rings or jump rings. I'm using split rings, and I already have them attached to my clasp. You're also going to need 11 or 10 seed beads, but you don't want to use both sizes together. You want to use one size or the other. These seed beads here are check, and they are 11 seed beads. You're also going to need super duos if you want to do a bracelet that has all super duos. You'll need 2 different colors, or you could do all the same color if you want. And the other option is rounduos. You could do all rounduos. But for this video, I'm gonna do superduos and rounduos together, mixed up in the anklet. So this is all the materials you're going to need, and remember, I always put the list of materials down there in the description bar below the video, so check out down there to see everything in writing. So that's all you're going to need. Let's get started. I went ahead and I threaded my needles, and I made sure that my tail was the same length on both sides of my needles so they are even. Now the first thing I'm going to do is pick up half of my clasp, and remember I already put on my split ring onto my clasp, and I'm going to pick up 5 11 seed beads. So there's 3, 4, 5. Oops, one fell off. 5, okay? Now that I have this, I'm going to slide this down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my needles together, and I'm going to make sure that this here lands in the center of my thread. Okay? Now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, same color, 11, and I'm going to cross through it. Just like that. I'm going to put my needles together again, and I need to make sure that my ends stay even so I don't run out of thread on one side. So I'm bringing this 1 seed bead down to the very center of my thread, and this is what I have. This is my clasp, okay? That's what it should look like. And again, just making sure that I have it centered. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a different color seed bead. I'm going to do this purple here. 1 seed bead on each needle. And then I'm going to pick up a rounduo, and I'm going to pass both of my needles through it just like this. Okay, so 1 needle through each hole. Again, make sure the needles are even. You only have to do this for a few rows here, and your needles will stay the same length. Okay, so this is what I have now. I'll show you what that looks like close up. Okay, now the next thing to do is pick up 1 11 seed bead on each needle. 1 each needle, slide that down, and pick up 1 more 11 seed bead, but I'm doing my other color, my matte Aurora Borealis blue. Okay, so I'm sliding this bead down just like this, bring it all the way down, pulling my thread tight, and this is what I have. Okay, so right now we're making the base of our weave. Now what I'm going to do is pick up one 11 seed bead, oh, my threads everywhere, on each needle, and I'm going to do the blue. Okay, one each needle. Now I'm going to pick up my super duo, and I'm going to pass through it just like this. Okay, one needle each side, just like that. Slide that down. I'm going to pick up another 11 on each side. I said slide. Okay, slide those down. So again, one on each side. Now I'm going to pick up another one and cross through it. Okay, I'm going to bring all of this down, pulling all of this down. Now I have this, which to me is already cute by itself. Okay, so that's what it looks like close up. Now I'm going to go back to my purple seed beads. I'm going to pick one up on each needle, slide that seed bead down. I'm going to pick a round duo up. Okay, I'm going to pass the needle through each hole, just like this. Slide that down. Okay, that's what we have so far. Then I'm going to take my needles and pick up one 11 seed bead on each needle, same color, the purple. And then I'm going to pick up another 11 but I'm going to do the blue. Okay, now I have to crisscross my needles through this one, just like that. And I'm going to bring all these beads down to my anklet. Okay, pull it tight so all the beads go in the right little spot, and this is what we have. It's very cute. Okay, pick up the needles again. I'm going to pick up one blue seed bead, 11 seed bead on each needle, slide that down, one super duo, and pass a needle through each hole, just like that. Slide that down. Now I'm going to pick up another 11 seed bead on each needle, slide that down. Okay, so this is what I just picked up. Now I'm going to pick up another 11 seed bead and I'm going to cross through it. Okay, so bring all of this down. And this is what I have. Pull that tight. So now I'm going back to the purple. One on each side. One 11 on each side. And then I'm going to pick up my round duo. One needle through each side again. Just like that. Slide that down. I'm going to pick up another 11 each side, the purple. And then I'm going to pick up one blue seed bead and cross through it. So I'm only crisscrossing my needles through the blue 11 seed bead, not the purple, for this color pattern that I'm doing. Okay, so bring all of this down. I'm going to pull this tight and show you. Okay, so looking at this, you could see that we are only crossing our needles through these blue 11 seed beads right here. We're not crisscrossing through the purple ones. Those are just on the sides of my rounduos. So now you can see my pattern here forming. I'm going to have purple seed beads around the rounduos. I'm going to have blue around the superduos. Okay? So this is my pattern. This is a different color pattern than this one here that I did. This one, my base, I exited out of like a red superduo here, and I had picked up a blue seed bead each needle, I crossed to the bronze, and then a blue seed bead each needle, and I crossed to this Aztec gold, blue seed bead each needle, crossed to the bronze, and then, you know, repeating. So, when I got done with that, I went back and I filled in the edges, with the seed beads to get this look here. Okay, so right now I'm exiting out of this blue 11 seed bead, and I'm going to go ahead and try to zoom in, but I don't want to get too close because it will blur. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Exiting out of this blue 11 seed bead, I'm going to pick up another blue 11 on each side. Then I'm going to pick up my super duo, and I'm going to pass through the holes just like this, one needle each side, pull that down. Then I'm going to pick up another 11 on each needle and slide that down. Then I'm going to pick up an 11 to cross through. Okay, so bring this down, cross through it just like that. And then I'm going to pull all of these beads down. Okay, pull it tight, and this is what we have. Okay, so I'm going to keep it going, repeating this, and then I'm going to show you a different way of doing it. Okay, so right now, exiting out of this blue 11 seed bead, I already have my super duo here. Now I have to do a round duo because I'm alternating the round duos and super duos. So I have to pick up one purple on each needle, 11 and then a round duo, pass through the holes just like that, slide that bead down. Then I'm going to pick up an 11 on each needle, purple, slide that down. Then I'm going to pick up one of my cross through seed beads, which is always this blue here. Okay, cross through that and bring this down. Bring all this down, pulling the thread tight, and this is what we have made. Okay, exiting out of this blue one, I already did a round duo. That means my next duo bead will be a super duo, not a round duo. So I'm going to pick up one blue seed bead on each needle, pick up a super duo, and pass through it like that. Picking up another 11 seed bead on each needle, sliding that down, then picking up one to cross through. Okay, crisscrossing my needles through this one 11 seed bead, bringing all of this down. I have this. Okay, pull the threads tight, and this is what we have. Now I just did my super duo here, and I have all those blue seed beads, so that means that I have to do a round duo. So I'm going to pick up one purple 11 seed bead on each needle, one round duo, pass through that, one needle in each hole. Now I'm going to pick up one 11 on each side, purple, bring that down. I'm going to pick up one of my cross through beads, which is a blue 11 seed bead, and I'm going to cross through it like this. Okay, and bring it down. Okay, pull this tight, and this is what we have. Okay, so you might want to go back and check your work and make sure you didn't mess up, because I can't tell you how many times I made this and I went back and I looked and I had accidentally picked up an extra seed bead, or I picked up the wrong color, I crossed to the wrong color. So go ahead, stop right now and go back and check your work and make sure that your pattern looks just like mine. Okay, now once you've checked it, I'm going to do this one more time. I'm exiting out of this blue 11 seed bead. I already have a round duo here, so that means the next duo I'm going to pick up is a super duo. So I'm going to pick up one 11 seed bead on each needle. Then I'm going to pick up a super duo and pass through that, one needle in each hole, pull that down. I'm going to pick up an 11 seed bead on each needle. Then I'm going to pick up an 11 to cross through, just like this, crisscross to that seed bead, and pull all of my work down. Okay, pull it tight, and this is what we have. Okay, so this is one way of making this weave, using both hands at the same time, but there's another way of doing it, and I would say that it is kind of faster, but I noticed that it doesn't turn out as nice as this. As you could see looking at this, it's very straight. So I'm going to show you the other way of making this weave that's kind of a little bit faster, but I don't know, it seems like it makes it kind of a little wavy, but it's all really about the tension. You have to make sure you pull it tight. So this is one way of making it, and I'm going to show you another way. Okay, so I just showed you one way of making this, and I would say that the first way I just showed you is very simple and it's great for beginners. The second way I'm going to show you is kind of more confusing, but it's mostly the color layout that you have that is kind of confusing. So if you're a beginner, I really recommend the way I just showed you, the first way of doing this, the way to do it, because the second way might be a little irritating and confusing. Okay, so the second way of doing this is to pick up a lot of your beads on one needle, and once you do a few inches of beads, go back to your other needle, and you're just going to weave through the beads that you have already added, and you're just going to pick up one seed bead at a time and fill in some gaps. Okay, so right now this is where I'm at. So the next bead I have to pick up is a purple seed bead, and then I'm going to pick up a round duo, a purple seed bead, 2 blue 11 seed beads, a super duo, 2 blue 11 seed beads, a purple 11 seed bead, a round duo, an 11 seed bead that's purple. Okay, just like that. That's what I have, and I'm going to slide this down because my needle's getting filled up. Okay, so I left off with a purple seed bead. Now I'm going to pick up 2 blue seed beads, 1 super duo, 2 blue seed beads, 1 purple, 1 round duo, 1 purple seed bead, 2 blue seed beads, a super duo, 2 blue seed beads, a purple seed bead, and a round duo. Okay, just like that. So this color pattern right here is the way that it's supposed to be if you want to do it this way. Okay, this is the more advanced way of making this weave here, which if you do like this, how I'm doing it this way, I would start making this the same way I did the first time, but I would just go up to here and then I would start doing it this way. But to be truthful with you, I actually like the first way of doing it more because I noticed that this weave here is much more straighter and tighter looking than it is to do it this way. Okay, so now that I have these beads on here, I'm just going to go ahead and slide these on down just like that. I'm going to take my needle, stick it in the mat out of my way. Now I'm going to take my other needle, okay, and looking at this, I'm Xing out of this seed bead, this blue one. I have a purple one over here. Here's my round duo. The next thing I have to do is pick up 1 purple seed bead, and I'm going to pass through the round duo, just like this, okay? Pull that up. And I got caught around here, so I'm just gonna pull that back through and pull it up like this, okay? Now pull this tight on both sides. And this is what we have, okay? Exiting up out of here, the next thing I have to do is pick up another purple seed bead. I'm gonna skip over this purple one and I'm gonna crisscross through this one, just like I normally would if I did it the first way. Okay, now I have this. Now what I'm going to do is, I lost control of my beads over here. Kind of helps if you put it in your hand like this, wrap it around your pinky finger, and then you can control these beads up here coming down. Okay, so right now I'm Xing out of this blue seed bead. Next thing I have to do is pick up 1 blue seed bead, and I'm going to pass through this super duo. Just like that. Now I have that. I'm going to pick up 1 blue seed bead, Exiting out of here, I'm going to skip over this first one and I'm going to go through this middle one, and I'm going to go in this direction, the opposite direction of my other needle, just like we're crisscrossing, okay? And this always here, this beaded section always wants to turn when you do that, okay? Now I have this, again, pull it tight. The next thing I have to do is pick up one purple seed bead and pass through this rounduo through the second hole and pull this down. Okay, again, pull this tight. Make sure you pull both strings tight because we need this to be straight and tidy looking. Okay, there we go. The next thing I have to do is pick up one purple 11-0 seed bead. Exiting out of here, I'm going to move this up, and I need to go through this second seed bead in this direction. This here is my tail, so I'm going to go in the opposite direction, crisscrossing through this seed bead. Okay. Pull this tight, and that's what we have. Next thing I have to do is pick up a blue seed bead. So one blue and through this superduo. Okay. Pull that down. That's what we have. Bringing this down here. The next thing that I have to do, so just by looking at this you can really tell the next thing that you have to pick up. It's just when you go to pick all those beads up there at the beginning on one side, it's a little confusing on what color order you have to pick them up. Okay, so exiting out of here, I'm skipping this first bead and I'm going to go through this one. Pull this, and this here is going to turn on me. Okay, so pull both strings tight, slide the beads down, and this is what we have. Now I'm going to pick up one purple seed bead to match my other side, and I'm going to go through this rounduo. Okay, I'm going to pick up another purple seed bead, bring this down, and I want to crisscross through this seed bead. Okay, just like that. Here's the rest of my beads. I'm going to pick up one blue seed bead, and I'm going to pass through this superduo. Okay, oops, and I accidentally picked up two, so I'm just going to back out just like that. Hold this between my fingers so that bead doesn't fly. Okay, let that bead fall. Then I'm going to go back through there. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to pull this tight. Both sides. Okay, once that's tight, I'm going to slide the rest of my beads down. I'm exiting out of this superduo, so that means I have to pick up one blue seed bead. So I'm going to slide this up, and I'm going to go through this bead right here. Okay, just like that, and pull this tight. Slide my beads down again, and the next thing I have to do is pick up another purple seed bead and pass through the rounduo. Okay, I'm going to pull both of my strings tight. Okay, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so those are the two different ways of weaving this. So you could do whatever you feel is the best way. The first way is more easier to do. The second way is a little bit more confusing, and that's only really because of the color pattern that you want to do. So this is what we have done so far, and what you got to do is keep going, making this weave either the first way I showed you how to do it or the second way. And once you get it long enough for a bracelet or an anklet, I'm going to show you what to do next. So keep going doing this weave until you get to the end where you'll have to add your clasp, and I'll show you what to do next. So keep going repeating these steps. I kept on going, and I went to the length that I needed for an anklet, and now I'm over here, and what I have to do is add this clasp on. Now this is a ball and socket clasp. It's also called a snap clasp, but there's a top side and there's a bottom side, so I have to make sure that I have it connected on right to the end so it snaps to the other side correctly. So right now, well, if you're doing a lobster claw like I did on this one. It doesn't matter which is the top and the bottom because, you know, the lobster claw is reversible. So with this one I have to do it a certain way. So right now I'm mixing out of this rounduo, and what I'm going to do is take my needles and pick up one purple seed bead on each needle, slide that down. I'm going to pick up a blue 11 seed bead and cross through it, okay? So now I have to make this end match my other end. So bring that down. Let's take my needles here and my mat. This is twisting just a little bit, as you could see. It's not laying perfectly flat. So this is the top of my clasp. So I'm going to lay this flat, make sure that it is not twisting, so I pick up the rest of my clasp the right way. Okay. So it's flat. Okay. Just like this. Okay, so I need to pick it up this way. So I'm going to take my needle, pick up 5 11 seed beads, the blue color because I have to match my other end, pick up my clasp this way, make sure it's still laying flat. Yep. Okay, pick up my clasp, slide this down just like that. I'm going to take my other needle and I'm going to pass through these seed beads and through the clasp and pull this down. Okay. Pull it tight. I'm going to lay this out and make sure it's right. Okay. Okay, it's all flat, and yes, it's right. Okay, so this is the top of my clasp. This is the back. You can see there how it's made. That's the top. Okay, so right now I have this, a thread exiting out of these seed beads here on the side. What I'm going to do is take my needle, pick up one 11 seed bead, a blue one, and I'm going to pass through this purple seed bead right here on the corner, my rounduo. Bring this through just like that, and I'm going to pull this tight. Now I'm going to take my other needle and do the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to pick up one 11 seed bead right there on my needle, and I'm going to pass through this purple seed bead on the corner. Okay, just like that. This is what we have. Now I'm going to pull both of my threads tight because I don't need any loose thread. Okay, once I get it tight, I'm ready to continue on, and I'm going to fill in the sides next. Okay, I'm going to do one side at a time. I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. Now, when I did the rounduos and when I did the superduos, I had to make sure that when I was doing the rounduos that I picked up 4 seed beads beside each rounduo, and I went through the next seed bead, went through this one, picked up 4 again, and went through this one, and 4 again. Repeat that. Now for the superduos, they are more narrower, so I had to do 3 seed beads. So here you can see I went through this bead, picked up 3, went through that bead, through that one, picked up 3, and I changed my color around. I went through this one and that one, and I picked up 3. Okay, and repeated. So with this one, I'm doing rounduos and superduos, so I have to remember when to pick up 4, when to pick up 3, because if I pick up an extra one, it's not going to look good, and if I forget to pick up a 4th one on the rounduo, you're going to see exposed thread, and the bracelet won't be straight, it'll be crooked. So right here I am, exiting out of here. I have a rounduo right here, so that means that I have to pick up 4 11 seed beads that are purple. Okay, so here's my 4 purple. I'm going to take my needle, pass through this 11 seed bead, and I'm also going to go through the next one. Just like that. Pull that through, and as you can see, it lays around the round duo. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 3 11 seed beads because I am going around a super duo, and I'm going to take my needle, pass through this blue 11 seed bead, and through the next one beside it, through the purple one. Okay, pull my thread through, and now I have this, and I'm going to pull it tight. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Pull that tight, and I'm going to keep going. Xing out of this purple, I'm going to pick up 4 because I am around a round duo. 4 purple. Out of here, I'm going to go through these 2 seed beads. Pull it tight. Now I'm at a super duo, so that means I need 3 seed beads, not 4. And I did want to mention that the base that we made just now, this base here, for the super duos and the round duos are the same. So if you want to do all super duos, the base would be the same exact as this. If you want to do all round duos, the base will be the same exact as what we just made. So the only thing that's different is the edges. Because of the round duo being wider and the super duo being more narrower, you have to change the amount of beads to fit around the bead properly. Okay? So I have 3 seed beads on here. I'm pulling this through, pulling it tight, and it's going around my super duo. I'm going to move this up, and now I'm going to go around the round duo. Again, I need 4. Purple color. Xing out of here, I'm going to pass through these 2. Pull that tight, and that's what I have. This is what we've done so far. Xing out over here, I have to pick up 3 11 seed beads. I'm going to pass through this blue one and then through the purple one, just like that, and make sure you pull it tight. And sometimes you have to move these seed beads over and around because they don't want to go around the super duo. They don't have the same problem with the round duo because it's round, but with this they don't want to scooch over, so you kind of got to do it for them. Okay, so Xing out there, I'm going to pick up 4 11-Os. Coming out here, I'm going to pass through these 2 seed beads and pull tight. Now I'm going to pick up 3 to go around my super duo. Exiting out here, I'm going to go through these 2 beads. Okay. Now I have to do 4 because I'm at a round duo. And go through these 2 beads. Just like that. Now I'm right here at a super duo, so I have to do 3. Pass through this bead and through the second one. Okay, just like that. So what I normally do is I will fill in the whole side up halfway to the bracelet, and then I'll stop and go to the other side. So let's pretend that I'm halfway right now, and I'm just going to flip this over, go to my other needle. Right now I am right here. Okay, right here at this seed bead, and I'm just going to repeat the same thing I did on that side on this side. I'm mixing out of this purple 11-O. I'm going to pick up 4 11-Os that are purple, and I'm going to pass through these 2 beads, pull it tight, and there we go. We just made a little circle around that round duo. Now I'm going to pick up 3 11-Os to go around the super duo. So exiting out right here, I'm going to pass through these 2. Pull it through and pull it tight, and this is what we have. I'm up here, so I'm going to pick up 4 to go around the round duo. Just like that. Exiting out here, I'm going to go through these two. Pull this through, and this is what we have so far. Okay, I'm just going to go a little bit further, picking up 3, exiting out of this 11-0, I'm going to go through these two, just like that. Pull this tight. Now I'm up here, I'm going to pick up 4 purple 11-0s. Exiting out of this bead, I'm going to go through these two. Okay, now I'm right here at this super duo, so that means I have to pick up 3 11-0 seed beads. I'm going to pass through this blue 11-0 and out through the purple one. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 4 because I'm at the round duo. Exiting out here, I'm going to go up through these 2 seed beads. Okay, pull the thread tight. Now you can see what we've made. It is so cute. I really love this little pattern. It's very simple to make, and it's just absolutely adorable, and it makes an awesome anklet, especially for the summertime. So you want to keep going, repeating these steps, filling in the edges, and just remember that you have to pick up 3 seed beads for the super duo and 4 seed beads to go around the round duo. Alright, so keep going, filling in the edges, and once you get to the other side over here, I'll show you what to do next. So keep on going, repeating these steps. I kept on filling in the sides, and now I am all the way over here, and what I have to do now is fill in these 2 gaps and then reinforce this, and I'm going to come out the sides, and I'll be getting ready to tie my half-hitch knots. So right now I have a thread exiting out right here, and I also have one over there. What I'm going to do is pick up 1 seed bead to match my other end, and I'm going to pass through these blue 11-0 seed beads. I'm going to go through all of them. Okay, so I just put that one there. I'm going to go through this one at the end and through the clasp. I'm going to turn this, get this thread here out of the way. I'm going to take the same needle and I'm going to pass down through these 2 11-0 seed beads. And I just caught that one, but I can easily fix that. Okay, pull that through. There we go. Now I have this. I have a thread here that I'm working with, and I have this other thread, and since they are together, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up this seed bead and crisscross through it and fill in this gap. Okay, I'm going to go back to this needle right here, and I'm going to pass through about 3 seed beads. Pull that through. Now I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to take this needle and I'm going to pass through all of these seed beads. I'm going to go down this side, throw all the seed beads on this side. I'm going to try to go through that purple one, but it's a little tricky, so I'll just pass through these. Okay. Then I'm going to go down these 3 here. Okay. So now I'm in position to tie my half hitch knots. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to tie the half-hitch knots, and it's super easy to do. I'm exiting out right here, so I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to pass it underneath this loop, this seed bead loop. I'm going to make a loop with my thread, and I'm going to pass through this loop twice. Okay, I'm going to bring the knot down, and I need it to fall right there. Pull it tight and put it between my fingers. Now I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to sew through these 3 seed beads. Okay. And I'm going to give a good yank to the thread, and the knot's going to hide inside that seed bead. Now I'm going to turn this so I could pass through my next beads. So I'm going to go through these 2 right here. Okay. I can only go through one at a time in this area because of the angle. So I'm going to go through that one, and I'll go through this one. And if I tie a knot here, it'll be seen. So I'm going to pass through these 2. And tie a knot. Actually, I should have tied a knot right here, so I'm going to pass through this seed bead again. And I'll put the knot right here. Okay, because it won't be seen here. Pull this through. Okay. So if you look at the sides, you could see the thread is exposed right here. So when you go to tie your knots around the superduos, you want your knots to be here and here. So right here I am. I'm going to pass through these 2 and then through this one. Okay. And I'll tie another knot right here. So it really doesn't matter where you tie your knots when you're tying your knots around the rounduo because the thread's not exposed. But because of the shape of the superduo, you do see just a little bit of the thread exposed. So again, if I tied a knot around that center seed bead, the knot would be exposed. So making another loop, I'm going to go through it twice, pull the knot down right here, then I'm going to pass through this seed bead, turning it, and I'm going to pass through these 2 right here, and I'll tie another knot right here. So keep going, repeating these steps, tying your knots. Remember, like I said, you don't want to tie your knots here and here around the superduo because the knot will be exposed. So you want the knot to be right in here, in those areas, okay? So what I normally do is I use up as much of my thread as I possibly can. I tie as many knots as I can because the more knots you tie, the more thread you use up, the more durable your anklet will be, or bracelet, or ring, whatever you're making. With this weave. So keep going, tying your half-hitch knots on this side until you run out of thread, and then go to the other thread once you're done with this side and do the same thing over there, tying your half-hitch knots, and then you're done. This is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry we've made from my videos on my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching.